Yeah, when you think about scouting, some farmers will say, well, I don't need to implement scouting. It looks good from the road, but why wonder when you can know? You don't know what you don't know, and the more data that you can collect to make those decisions, the more profitable you're going to be. Integrated Ag Services, we are an independent crop consulting company that was founded back in 1990 by Dave Scheider. We strictly provide a service for the grower only. We essentially sell agronomy to the grower. Our key services are soil sampling and then scouting throughout the growing season, and we work one-on-one with growers to put together plans, and the ultimate goal is to maintain the highest yield at the lowest operating cost, and agronomy drives everything that we do. Our philosophy is the more data that we can collect, the better decisions that we can make. Last year was the first year that we kind of started experimenting with drones, to where we have been implementing just regular NDVI imagery over the past 5 years, and just been kind of frustrated with that. The grower's been frustrated to where we're not able to get a lot of actionable data out of that information. So we've partnered up with a company by the name of Taranis, and they are a imagery company based out of Israel. Actually, the technology came out of the Israel military, and they came into North America last year for the first year, and then we've partnered up with them this year. Taranis has provided us the capability to have ultra high resolution imagery and be able to tie artificial intelligence behind this imagery. So not taking whole field images, we're just taking images every about 200 feet. So it kind of mirrors our soil sampling program, to where we're taking a lot of data points in the field and collecting a lot of data to make better decisions. And the artificial intelligence is really what makes the system unique, to where we can have hundreds of scouting data points in the field, and our agronomists can make decisions very quickly. So with this ultra high resolution imagery, we're able to collect emergence plant stand counts. So if you think of a 100-acre field, we could have 100 plant stand counts out in that 100-acre field. This is very crucial, for this year. There's been some guys that got early planted in some very marginal conditions, to where we have flown some fields to help them try and determine if they need to replant or plant. Down the road, this can allow us to evaluate hybrids, and our seed companies do a great job of giving us emergence ratings on hybrids, but this is going to allow us to collect data over thousands of acres of how hybrids are performing. And the other important factor for this year is that there's been a lot of crops planted into marginal conditions at best, and so to get a good feel of what your crop's potential is going to be very important this year. So to be able to see if you have even or uneven emergence, and to see what your average plant stand counts are by field, and to understand the potential to, if you want to invest into this crop for the remainder of the season or not. Drone technology has kind of been I guess you can call it a glorified toy for some farmers, to where they throw the drone up in the air, and you can get some valuable information out of that, but to collect the information across thousands of acres can be challenging. But with this system, the drone is flying about 12 miles per hour, and we're on 200-foot transects. We can do about 1,000 acres a day. Yeah, outside of plant stand emergence, we're doing things like weed scouting. So for post-emergence applications, to determine if you need to apply herbicide or not apply for herbicide. The drone collects the images and then processes that information through the software, and the artificial intelligence can actually identify and quantify the weeds in the field. We're going to be able to provide a variable rate post-spray recommendation to the farmer, to where he can save significant dollars, to where he doesn't have to apply the chemical across the whole entire field. So there could be areas of giant ragweed, and he just needs to do some spot spraying throughout the field. Outside of that, the next step would be determining if you have nitrogen deficiencies or any sort of nutrient deficiency, and disease scouting. I think that's going to be some really cool technology to where if you think about the way we do disease scouting now, we walk past the end rows and maybe check a couple 100 feet into the field, to where now, once again, you got a 100-acre field, you're going to have 100 data points in your field to determine if you have northern corn leaf blight pressure or gray leaf spot pressure throughout the field, and be able to make some really precise images instead of just guessing, essentially. So farmer ultimately has the decision if he wants to embrace technology or not embrace the technology. And not to say that that farmer is going to get left behind or not survive, but he might be less likely to progress forward and grow. So as you can see here on the screen, this is all of the different images that the drone captured throughout the field, essentially, giving us a average plant stand count throughout the whole entire field. And then it's also able to essentially kind of generate a heat map of what your average populations are throughout the field. So you can start to see where your better areas are, and then where your poor areas is, which is where in this situation we're going to focus on here. And with this particular grower, he was trying to determine if he was going to have to replant or not. And with the information we collected, we were able to make the decision that he did not have to do any replanting here. So, yeah, every year is different for sure, but this particular field was kind of planted earlier on and into some colder, wet conditions, went through a lot. And so there was definitely some areas in the field that were lower population areas, and that's why the grower was concerned. But you can drill into each particular image and quickly see what the stand is, and you can zoom in right to the plants. You can identify what weeds are out there, and be able to make decisions right here from my desk. And that's where the technology is going to lead us to. So not only generate a population map, but we can generate a weed map as well. So it can not only tell you that it's weeds, but it can also identify that it is in fact a giant ragweed. So in this particular image here, I'll pull it up real quick, and you can see that there's some issues here, and the grower needs to take immediate action to get this under control. These are all the different sample locations throughout the field, and you can actually filter for a particular weed or disease or insect that maybe that image is picking out. So that's where the artificial intelligence comes into play. Not only do we have all these images, but we have a software that can identify that quickly. So we can quickly filter where our giant rag areas are throughout the field, and start to determine the problem areas. Yeah, so one thing that's exciting is the capability to have all of your fields, your whole entire operation. We can quickly identify even insects. So we can filter out for insects. It's going to tell me where I have insects, and then I can tell it what sort of threshold that I want it to search for. So you can see that it's telling me that I do have some sort of insect there, and then it's going to zoom in, and you can certainly tell that that in fact is Japanese beetle, and that there is some significant foliage feeding. So these are some of the reports that the grower will receive back once the scouting is completed. The images are sent to the software, and all of the artificial intelligence piece in the plant stand counting is completed. And once again, this comes back to the grower wants a quick report of what is happening out in his field. So in this particular report, it's giving them the average number of plants per acre throughout the entire field, and then producing a heat map of the population throughout the field, and then giving some general sample images as well. So the grower will get these reports, and then the grower also has access to the platform to where they have a username and login to where they can kind of, get as in-depth or not as in-depth as they want to. So that's the beauty of the system. So, and then this particular report here is, representing, I believe, a weed map, your average number of broadleaves, and then average of your grass weed species. So for the 2019 growing season, we're doing this on a limited amount of acres, but if you are interested in the technology, I do encourage you to get in contact with one of our consultants, and if you want to try a field or two, we can definitely try and fit you in the schedule. Especially when it comes to time for disease scouting as well. I think that's really going to be a huge ROI for the grower to be able to make better informed decisions when it comes that time. So if you do want to find out more about this information, you can get on our website at integratedag.net and fill out our contact form, and one of our crop consultants will surely get in touch with you. Not to say that you can't farm today without embracing this technology or any precision ag technology that's offered today, but it might put you behind on advancing forward in the future.